WrestlingPlus.com. WrestlingPlus.com presents Barry and John's Wrestling Spot. So sit down, open your ears, and most importantly, shut the hell up.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is WrestlingPlus.com, and this is the Wrestling Spot. Barry and John here. How's it going? How's it going, John?
Barry, it is, my friend, it's going pretty well. How are you?
Unbelievable. The breaking news coming out this week has just got me all tingling. I mean, we haven't seen anything like this in quite a while coming out. But tell them what's going on.
My nether regions are engorged. You know what? I take a lot of pride in, we handle a lot of big news here at the podcast. We handle a lot of big news here, and I think you and we're professionals. We've been doing this a long time, and we're very good at keeping the news under wraps, keeping pretty calm, keeping a finger on the pulse, as they say in the biz, But to use a phrase, this magic and shit show. This is a lot. This is a lot to drop on everyone, to drop on the fans, to drop on the audience. Don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, it's huge news, and of course, we're talking about what everybody else is talking about right now in the wrestling universe. Squared Circle Productions, trying to cover the heat from this one a little bit, but of course, we're talking about the arrest of one Mitchell Fatal, the 5-time RWF European Champion, RWF Incarnate, and Carl, Big Money Streetwise, the current,
the high roller himself.
Yeah, the high roller, the current Baron, and the legendary 7. Unbelievable. They both were arrested. Unbelievable. WrestlingPlus.com, not only are we going to be talking about it, everybody can talk about it, but we have the exclusive security camera footage that was picked up from this. We have our sources. We know how to get it, and we're going to be playing it as we talk right here so you can kind of see what happened, at least the initial part before they scrubbed out the rest. But we at least have that, right, John?
Oh, yeah. Barry, this is I hate to say it, Mitchell Fatal, RWF Incarnate. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good on him. Players Club, I don't think they really care what other people think. But Mitchell Fatal, he's a guy, an upstanding citizen. Maybe not everyone's favorite, but the thing is, from the security footage, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for either party. And that's the real shit kicker in this is, because, we have a current champion and a guy that, needs no introduction. A guy that, household name. And to see, a scuffle, more than a scuffle, just a real unsportsmanlike breakdown. It's sad. It's tarnishing.
Yeah, and I don't think Carl's too worried about any of this. Fatal, who knows? It's hard to say. He's been arrested before. It didn't slow him down at all. I mean, it's bad for
You're right.
Square Circle Productions, may not know how to handle this. I do know that Lincoln Shellhammer will be representing Mitchell Fatal. He has a retainer on him. So, I mean, I'm sure that Shellhammer will work out some details on this one, and unfortunately we couldn't get him on the phone tonight.
Well, I'm sure he's busy. Showhammer's always a guy that's getting stuff done. I'm sure that, just him representing RWF, in general, he's going to be looking out for, Carl Big Money Streetwise as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to, go ahead?
He just sent in a tweet. He must be listening to the show live here. He's saying, he says at his handle, at Shellhammer, it says acquittal, all caps, both. So acquittal both, and then he has some emojis with some smiling faces.
Breaking news from Lincoln Shellhammer. Lincoln Shellhammer, if you're listening, which it sounds like you are out there, you know what? We're a big fan of you. You're keeping the ball rolling.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously we'll have to wait and see on that, but Shellhammer obviously a confident man, and he's confident, competent, and he's the best out there. I mean, he's not paying me to say that, but so
yeah,
I see both these individuals getting acquittals. I mean, it was mutual conduct. I'm looking at the dockets right now on the PA Judicial web portal here as well. I have them pulled up. It's looking just like simple assault on both, harassment, disorderly conduct on both. So, I mean, they're all minor charges, but still, we'll just have to see how the hearings go.
But from what my sources are saying, there are fines. From what I'm hearing, that both of them are going to have to pay fines. And that's understandable. I'm just, I'm hoping there's no jail time involved. They both spent the night in lockup, but where they were posted bail. Continuing with my sources, from what I was told, they both posted bail. Shimmy Shimmy Duke and Knuckles McFadden came down, got old Carl Big Money Streetwise, posted his bond, got him out, and Chad the Shad actually came and was the one to pick up Mitchell Fatal. Yeah, wow, indeed. How about that?
Unbelievable. I did not know that. I didn't know that. That's
unbelievable
huge news. I mean, that's a story in itself.
From what I assumed, the only people that Chad the Shad would ever go bail out of jail was Ricky Slick and Devin O'Doul, the Buddy Boys. His adopted sons. I think those boys drink a good bit. They've had nothing. They're good boys, but they're not above getting a little rowdy and turnt, as people say. So I think Chad the Shad would be the one to bail them out, but I was shocked when I heard he. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's ironic that you mention this. The last time Buddy Boys were locked up for public drunk, they were weren't they down in Monongahela, the drunk tank down there, locked up, and Chad picked them up.
They were down at the Aquatorium, drinking very heavily, and they were playing Hide the Old Tuna Roll, and I heard them that they had been screaming publicly, down at the Aquatorium, trying to fight a fish. They were looking for a fish sandwich for their father, and that was, Chad the Shad, as they say, the sexy fish sandwich. So I think that's one of the reasons why Chad the Shad was there, had their back for that, because they obviously did it out of love. So he had their back. They were there. They were just trying to make him happy. And Well, that story's all besides the point. That's old news. What we're trying to cover now is the shocker that Chad the Shad bailed out Mitchell Fatal. I don't know. I guess that goes back, but I mean, you got one phone call. Who's that phone call going to be?
I guess it's to his old board member. I mean, you know, as far as it looks, and as far as anybody could tell, apparently old rivalries that you never thought would be buried. The hatchet has been buried, obviously, between the two. And it comes as a huge shock. I mean, I would have never thought back in 2002, 2003, at the height of their rivalry, that they would be bailing each other out. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, they did team up to be tag team partners in the first Army of Two tournament that didn't come to a conclusion. So you never know how these things go. I mean, I guess I don't know if I want to call them tight, but I mean, the other thing is that this is a TMZ. This is a TMZ angle right here, but why didn't Fatal have the money to bail himself out? I mean, did he have debit cards? I mean, what's that about? Is he low on cash? I mean, I know we're getting into like
cash. Well, let me present you with two things. Not to like cover up for him. He could be low on cash, but personally, I don't think you're allowed to post your own bail. I think, you know, you're allowed to wire it, but, you know, so maybe he is broke. Maybe he did have to reach out to Chad the Shad there for some money. I know Chad made a lot of money playing hockey, so, you know, and he does pretty well for himself here in the RWF. I just think it's for the best that he didn't call Dave, because, you know, God forbid, Dave wouldn't have been able to show up to pick him up. You know, Dave wouldn't even been able to show up to answer the phone. So it's probably best that he did reach out to old Chad the Shad.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely we just never thought it. It's really, the rest is big news, but the bailout's even news in its own. So unbelievable on that.
Unbelievable. But I want to move. We're covering some important news here, but we're just scratching the tip of why this all went down. Right. I'll let you take it away here. You were telling me about this, so.
Yeah, so as it turns out, as we know, the Baron Legendary 7 Gauntlet was crafted in Japan, as the story goes. Now, this is all story we received from Mitchell Fatal back in 2017, so it's all up for speculation. The gauntlet was crafted in the Tokugawa Ieyasu era, and it was set aside for many years. And then in 2017, after over 100 years of sitting around in Japan, Fatal comes upon it. It was gifted to him in Japan, and there was a lore to it that 7 championship titles would be put together, and the spirit of those championship titles would continue on in the gauntlet that is the Baron Legendary 7. However,
I love that. I love it. It just sounds so mystical. It sounds like a fortune cookie.
Exactly. And the fortune is getting a little bit brighter here. Fatal, as we recently saw, got a call, and they were sending it to him. Shellhammer notified him that he would be receiving a package of the new championship title. Unbelievably enough, so
the new championship. That's exciting.
Yeah, They crafted a new belt to honor the Baron of the Legendary 7, to honor the 7 retired titles, and I'm assuming the spirit of the titles are now going to be in this championship belt. It's an unbelievable thing, and they sent it to Mitchell Fatal. I don't know if we could speculate on reasons why it was sent to Fatal. Maybe they didn't realize he had lost it. He did just recently lose it at the Memorial Day Massacre Big Bang to Carl, and they sent it to him, and Fatal was going to deliver the belt to Carl. Much to his chagrin, I'm sure it after you could see in the
that
footage.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
That makes a lot more sense then, yeah.
As he was delivering the title, Carl completely disrespected the now retired Gauntlet, which I'm not sure what the status of that is. I don't know if it'll be put into an RWF display case somewhere or if it's going to be sent back to Japan. We haven't received word on that yet, but Carl disrespected the Gauntlet, as you can see from the footage, and Fatal just lost his mind and assaulted Carl, as you can see from the footage.
I think right now the Gauntlet is being held. The Gauntlet is being held as evidence right now. For the scuffle. Let's not dance around it. It was a brawl. These two throwing fists. I wish there was more to see of this, but I saw pictures of the boys afterwards, and they definitely put some hands together. Those weren't wrestling moves. They were not doing any holds. These were some haymakers, and and that's what I mean. This is a tarnishing moment. Such a beautiful historic lineage of the Baron of the Legendary Seven, a true achievement title in the great RWF. To have a moment like this, sadly tarnished. The debut of a new title. I try not to get too personal. I let we're in the media. We have to cover all spots and all point of view. And I want your opinion on this. I don't like to single anyone out, but I think these two knuckleheads. I think it's pretty disgraceful. And it's kind of dumb. It's dumb shit that the two of them should have had their heads on right. But look at how it is. Look at how. First off, Carl shouldn't have disrespected the title like that. But it's the Players Club. It's the Players Club. They're assholes. I hope we don't get blown up for saying that. But, I would hope that Mitchell Fatal would have his head on straight. But, as we've said, that guy, he's been arrested several times for his goofing around himself. So, maybe not the coolest of heads in the same room.
Yeah, certainly not. This is one of those things where, maybe if we had somebody, if they had somebody deliver the title to Carl to do some sort of transition ceremony, but it just, unfortunately didn't happen that way. And this is what we got, and it's a shame. I will say this, aside from everything else that went down, and I do have to tend to side with Mitchell Fatal on this. That was quite disrespectful of a Gauntlet that has been such a legacy.
I completely agree.
Championship. Absolutely disgusting for Carl, but it is, hey, Carl, big money street-wise, what do you expect? I understand.
I'd have put my hands on it myself.
Yeah, I understand Fatal's reaction, but at the same time, he should have remained calm. But he isn't a board member, so I guess he, isn't really worried about too much anymore on that end, on the business aspect. But yeah, aside from that, let's talk about that belt. Unbelievable. We get a picture of that?
Absolutely. Let's.
There we
go. Yeah, that is one sexy title. It is something. I love the image of the gauntlet in it, in it there. That is the correct respect to the original title, to the original gauntlet, the original Baron gauntlet, not the original titles, because that was the 7 original titles. You know,
Sure.
Having that gauntlet in the center is beautiful.
Yeah, this is an amazing title. We see depicted on there, of course, the gauntlet in all its glory, a little bit of filigree there, and then, you know, we have on the sides, we have all the respective titles listed. And, of course, you know, we got the silhouette, the bringing together of course, Pennsylvania being the home of RWF, and where all these titles were created originally, before they went worldwide and everything else. So we have the silhouette of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and then we have the silhouette of Japan, bringing together the two. You know, this is a real
their
bridge.
birthplace, their homeland.
Yeah, this is a real. It's
the people that made this really knew how to capture the essence of the beautiful, rich history of not only the Gauntlet, not only those 7 past titles, but the history of the RWF. You know, let's call it what it is. You know, and this is no disrespect. You know, if you've heard someone say it, we've heard, of course, Mitchell Fatal say it. We've heard the likes of Amazing Hazen say it. We've heard the likes of Chad the Shad, Dave, when he shows up, he says it. The European Championship is the title to have in the RWF. If you're in the RWF, you're going for the European title. It is the top of the heap. There's no doubt about that. But the Baron of the Legendary 7, I think, represents RWF, because it represents everything else. It represents the history. It represents the RWF Championship. It represents the original tag team championships. I'm sorry, that before there was ever whispers of an army of 2. It represents just so much more. You know, the hardcore title, the intercontinental title. You know, it represents so much more of everything else that was going on. You know, there's so many times. I'm sorry, going off on a tangent here, Barry, and please just bear with me. But This is, you know, we talk so much about the Baron of the Legendary 7, and we just, you know, let it roll off the tongue perfectly. And we talk about the Unbound Championship, and you know, this is just RWF that I'm talking about. You know, we cover so much more here, but when we talk about RWF, we talk about the European Championship and its great history, and we talk about the Baron Legendary 7 and its great history. But I don't think we really let it soak in the beautiful, beautiful history that the Baron Legendary 7 truly actually represents. And that is the everyday grind of everything else but the European Championship that was going on in RWF. The Gauntlet represents the struggles of all of the people. You know, let's take a look back at when the original Gauntlet came in, when Wildman put up the Cruiserweight title to be a part of that, for a chance at that. You know, sadly, Zero had the 24/7 Hardcore Intercontinental Championship at the time. After procuring it from the White God, That was
the devious means of obtaining it, utilizing a virus that was given to him, he gave to old Murphy Pennyworth.
Pennyworth. Yeah.
Evil Zero, put the virus in and inserted himself right into the match with the 24/7 title.
Looking back on that, that is history. That is stories. That was people's blood, sweat, and tears that went into every day representing RWF while holding those titles. To turn them in to the Baron of the Legendary Seven. That's why that title means a lot to me. You do want the European Championship if you're in the RWF. But I damn well think having the Baron of the Legendary Seven represents every bit of effort that the RWF has put on the line to be one of the greatest wrestling, if not the best, greatest wrestling promotion on the planet. And, when you look at it, I love the European title. Urban Jump, our current European champion. Good on him. But looking at the Baron of the Legendary Seven, that is an incredible accomplishment. And, it is what it is. We have a guy that always has an ace up his sleeve, a guy like Carl, Big Money Streetwise, a guy from the Players Club. I'll say this, the match sucked because, as a fan, you and I are fans, we were cheated. We were cheated the match. But Carl Big Money Streetwise did everything legal in that match. And he won. And walked away with the Baron of the Legendary Seven.
Yeah, he
gets to represent the history of the RWF. Hopefully he doesn't represent the future of the RWF. But, that's a beautiful title. And this new belt is gorgeous and is an incredible representation of the beloved RWF history.
It really
I'm sorry, I just went total fanboy and got really into the lore and the love that I have for this sport and everybody that has been a part of it.
Yeah, I mean this is the it's RWF. It really is. You look at the title itself, and it depicts the gauntlet, representing the struggle. I mean, it's depicted emblazoned on a shield. It really watches the line, and it's just an amazing looking title. They really did an amazing job with this one. It's absolutely incredible. I think it really holds up to the legacy of the Gauntlet. It holds up to the 7 championship titles within it. Let's not forget the other titles. We talked about a few of them. The Cruiserweight title, that Wildman put up.
Oh, absolutely.
In a traditional Baron Legendary 7 championship match, it is a best out of 7. It could be 7 matches. It could be 7 pinfalls. It could be, the series. It's just, it carries a lot of weight to it. The RWF US title, it's just an amazing piece of work here. I couldn't be more happy with them sending this over to RWF.
Absolutely. The RWF's US title was always a title that I thought was the underdog title. It was the one that, a lot of people were shooting for different things, and that was a real close to home, badge of honor title, I think, the U.S. title. and it's great to see. Some people say it was forgotten about, but I say it's represented. No one will forget it now.
Absolutely not. I mean, this is why this title exists. This is why it's here. It's to uphold a legacy of the RWF, and they're over 20 years, and this really is a true standard championship, and it looks phenomenal. I mean, talking about as far as these championship titles look, I mean, this one looks just fantastic. They're blazing on a nice silver plates. It just looks great.
Absolutely. Well, I'm very glad that we're moving forward here. We got any other news to cover tonight, Barry?
No, this is the big thing to come out. We got some other stuff. We got the tournament. The tournament is raging on, the Total Action Guaranteed tournament. Listen to upcoming spots on that. When we get to the end of round 1 in the Total Action Guaranteed World Cup tournament, we'll be going over all the matches, discussing those, and it's just, as they say in RWF, it's going to be big.
Round 2. You mean round 2? We're getting to the end of round 2, round 2 here. Yeah, is folding up here.
Sorry about that. Yeah, and so much
you're good.
So much confusion. Yes, yeah, we'll be going over those.
There's
the
so
matches.
much going on.
Yeah, I will go over the upcoming matches. And
another thing I want to do, a quick plug here, cheap plug. We always have rotating sponsors here at the podcast, and but most importantly, please like, share, subscribe, comment, blow up our feed here. We definitely want to have more people really getting into the conversation with us. And if you guys have been paying attention, please send us questions. We've been doing a newer program here. It is the Sit and Shoot. And basically we want to have questions to ask all of the talent, all the wrestlers, whenever we do interviews with them. Things that maybe you guys, the fans, want to know. So please forward us your questions and we tirelessly go through them. And we want to find everything that we can really pick their brains to get you guys the answers that you desperately want to hear.
Yeah, and I'm getting a question floating in right now. Do you want to take a question? We got time?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not? We got time.
All right. Okay. We got. All right. It's actually this is out of the blue. It has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about tonight, but we'll take it. It's talking about this guy's asking about the White God, and we brought up the match before, and he's speculating on. He wants to know, do you think at the Memorial Day Massacre bloodletting, if the White God would have been in the match representing the 24/7 Intercontinental Championship, do you believe that he would have taken the Baron Legendary 7 home and defeated Wildman? Now, that's an interesting question. John, go ahead. What do you think?
That is. I cannot believe I've never thought of that.
Yeah. How come we haven't thought about that? But yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying send in these questions, everybody, because we don't think of everything. We're professionals, as professional as two douchebags like us can be, but we're professionals and we don't think of everything. Do I think if the White God would have showed up, would he have beaten the Wild Man and been the Baron of the Legendary 7?
I mean, I think going into that, we can look at the history of it going into that match. Nobody, including myself, unfortunately, suspected that Wildman was definitely the underdog.
Yeah. I'm gonna bite the bullet on this, and no disrespect, because I want to have him on the show. Wildman then was not the Wildman we have now. And I mean that with no disrespect also, but he did just lose the European Championship a couple months back. No disrespect, but he is a former European champion now. He was not anywhere near to being a European champion then. And that just speaks volumes of his growth. He was the cruiserweight champ. But I really think that was I really think he did well in that. But I think I think that was more luck that he had that, because if you remember right, Mitchell Fatal was probably not in his right mind with his previous arrest at that time, no, that was prior to that. Mitchell Fatal probably knew he was going to be arrested. The guy living a lifestyle like that back then. So
yeah, I mean, at the time, Fatal lost. It was Fatal, the cruiserweight champion, and the Wildman at RWF's Pound of Flesh event, where the Wildman won the title. Yeah, and they had their classic main event. It was the last time the cruiserweight title was in a main event, and it was an incredible match. And Wildman was the underdog there, so let's talk about that angle. He was the underdog at Pound of Flesh, and he pulled it off. Nobody, and unfortunately, including myself, would have thought he was going to beat Mitchell Fatal for that cruiserweight title and end an 18-year-long reign. But then again, he was the underdog at the Memorial Day Massacre Witching Hour.
No one saw that coming either, so, I mean, I know definitely not the Amazing Hazen, so, and that's what I mean, no disrespect to Wildman. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm actually changing my tune. We're talking about, he was 2 events prior going into the underdog, previously in big-time main event matches, one for the 24/7 Intercontinental Championship, beats the Amazing Hazen. Yes, he loses it immediately 10 minutes later at the same night while celebrating to the White God when he came out and beat it for him. But then he goes to Pound of Flesh, beats Mitchell Fatal for the cruiserweight. And, I do have to say, Ricky, this guy's name is Kevin sent this in. Kevin, I got to say, I actually think the Wildman would have beat the White God and been the first Baron Legendary 7 if Zero wouldn't have inserted himself.
See, I disagree on that. I do think Wildman had some talent back then. Definitely not the talent he has now. But, as you just said, he turned around and lost to the White God 10 minutes later. And sadly, we didn't see anything between White God and Zero. But I don't think the White God was anyone. There's a reason why we have the memorial match for the White God every year at the Massacre, because the White God was incredible. And I'm not gonna talk bad about Zero. Not like I have much good to say about Zero, but Zero is very good. Zero's very good. Good. White God.
Well,
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. This is all pure speculation.
Let's think about this. We all love the White God, but the White God always had that butt hanging over his head, and he never won the European Championship. He never won the big one. I mean, he was
You're not wrong.
He was a 5-time 24/7 champion. 5-time. He was a 2-time tag team champion with Mitchell Fatal. And
True.
I do believe, I want to say he was a 1-time, I don't have the paperwork in front of me right now, but I do believe he may have been was he a 1-time U.S. champion at one point in time? The White God was? I can't remember, but like, what was that?
I believe so.
Yeah, but he did never win the big one. Would he have won the Baron?
You're not wrong.
7 that night. I honestly, in looking at all of the information, and like I said, I'm not taking anything away from. I know the internet's going to be ablaze. I'm going to get a bunch of hate tweets about this, and I'm not taking anything away from the White God. I'm not. If he would have been there at bloodletting that day, I honestly think the Wild Man was just hot, and he's been hot for years. He's had a couple big losses, and that day he did have a big loss against Zero, but I also think he would have beat the White God that day. I really do. He's just a real underdog kind of guy, and he did. He was the European champion at the time, but
that's a dream match because it's a dream match because. It's the kind of thing that I would like to see it to know what would have happened. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe you've laid the beat down. I think I'm gonna change my tune. I'm gonna go with Wildman as well because Wildman is good in a pinch. Very good in a pinch. I think Zero just had his number that day with the surprise.
I think we all forget something too about Wildman. Wildman, when he came into RWF, right? It wasn't like he was new. We all forget he wasn't a veteran status wrestler. But he had a huge
not at all
in Seattle Championship Wrestling. He was their head champ. He was the Metropolitan Champion of Seattle Championship Wrestling. I mean, he really was well established. There was no, I mean, he did come in. He started at the bottom in RWF, and Fatal saw his talent, and after they went under, he scooped him up. I mean. And now it's all history, and the guy's been on top. I mean, he has. I'm looking at the numbers right now in the recently released statistics. Wildman has had the best record out of any wrestler in RWF since 2015 till 2021. I mean, his record is immaculate. I mean, so he has the best record. We're talking the likes of Fatal. Of course, the Amazing Hazen and Amazing Hazen's super hot streak a few years ago. We're still looking at the Wildman having the best record in RWF, in the most big wins.
Wow!
So
that's incredible.
Oh, and here come the tweets. The White Claw.
Knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, just raining in on me.
Well, Kevin, I hope we were able to answer your question. Great question, Kevin. That was excellent.
Yeah, and I guess Kevin, it's two votes for Wildman. If White God wouldn't have got mysteriously vanished in that nightclub, and as far as I know, Liam's still investigating that. So hopefully the trail doesn't get cold. I think it may have. So. Well,
Liam, good luck to you out there, buddy. But you're not alone in that investigation because I know for a fact the Sanctum Ex Altera is investigating as well. They always are still looking for their old friend White God. Messiah Black, Deity Gray. We forget that connection. How deep that that seed lies.
Yeah, I mean they're still searching. It, I know that Fatal as well had his own interest involved. They were former tag team champions together, 2-time tag team champions together, years and years.
Yeah,
ago,
you don't just form a team with someone that's a stranger. There's a harmony, there's a connection, there's a knowing the other person, like the other half of yourself.
Yeah.
That's why the Army of Two is one of my favorite divisions. So it's very interesting. That was a great topic. Kevin, like I said, excellent question. If you're still listening, everybody leave your thoughts in the comment section below on that. That's all I can really think about right now. As wow. I wonder what the next questions will be for our next sit and shoot. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you are listening out there, please send us. It could be for anybody. We weed through them, and whoever we're interviewing, we send those questions on.
Yeah, send them on in, everybody. We're really looking forward to more episodes of Sit and Shoot. We've really enjoyed the ones that have aired so far, and it's been a great show. It's been very successful, and we can only thank everybody out there who watches and listens to WrestlingPlus.com. And for the wrestling spot, we really thank you for taking a listen and a watch. And Barry, John, any last thoughts? Jesus, I'm going crazy.
Yeah. My last thoughts are this is we're getting some feedback here on our microphones. Ladies and gentlemen, I know things have been really crazy in the past year. But things are seeming to be getting better, and we're hoping to be able to get more interviews, definitely more coverage of the big Total Action World Cup tournament. We have a lot of great events coming up that we're going to have bigger and bigger audiences at now, and you know what? We're going to start having some people here in the old headquarters, so we can do some guests on the podcast, is what I'm trying to say. Liam is out in the field trying to get some better interviews. Sit and shoot's going great, but the big thing is definitely getting more talent and just people in the know in here, so we can have them on the podcast. That's my big excitement. I love us back and forth, our banter, and talking to people online. But there's nothing like having someone in person here that we can just pick their brain.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really looking forward to getting a couple other interviews going in studio. Well, we are about out of time for this week. This has been the WrestlingPlus.com Wrestling Spot with Barry and John. We will see you next time.
Take care, everybody.